Very interesting.
So Geek Week travels. Geek Week went to Tennessee, where Kent Jones talked to a scientist with an unusual, or shall I say, disgusting collection. Ew! Hi, Kent.
Hi, Rachel. So why is a professor of paleontology from East Tennessee State University part of Geek Week? Well, it might be his enormous, meticulously cataloged collection of poop. If there is a Hall of Fame for poop, this man is in it. Professor Jim Mead. It is a pleasure to be here.
It's wonderful, but don't call me professor. Just call me Jim. Studying this material, it's best just to call me Jim.
Keeps you down to earth.
It keeps me down to earth, yes.
So in total, how many pieces do you have in all?
How much dung do we have?
Yeah.
Between 800, 900, actually 900 to 1,000 specimens.
Wow, that is...
From every continent almost.
That is a load.
That is a lot.
Why is poop important?
Well, I mean, the dung's important if you have certain questions. So if you want to know what an animal ate, maybe why it died, you need to look at the dung, because this is what was tossed out of the animal, okay? So if you want to identify the dung and know what animals were there, then you need to reference it to something. Compare this to that. You say, oh, I have such and such dung.
Pick out a few of these and discuss these with me.
Well, this is African elephant, Loxodona, and you can see it doesn't chew things very well. It's a very poor chewer. It just kind of stuffs in 600 pounds, pumps out 500 pounds, and that's what it is. This would be rhino.
Yeah.
And rhino, see, although this is
a little smaller than the elephant.
Yeah. This is long and stringy, and this is grass mainly. This rhino, it's a browser, so it's clipping things off. So everything looks like broken up matchsticks. Well, that's diagnostic. It's a different shape, too, even though it comes screaming out the other end. It's a little bit different shape.
So the rhino will actually chew the food perhaps more...
Like Mom said, 13 times and then gulp it down. Elephant, not doing that.
The other thing, the rhino flosses. When you get a new sample, what do you do?
Pick it up and smell it.
Excellent.
Okay, and why that? Well,
yes, why that?
This sounds strange too. But if it is older than about 5,000 years, it takes on a different smell. Sort of like a wine. Think of it as wine. See?
Now I am thinking of it that way.
Yeah. And if it's really old, it has a sweeter smell.
Sweeter. Older, sweeter.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And trust me. And if it's really
Believe
young...
me, I do. You're the man on this.
If it's younger than that, it really does smell acrid.
I noticed the hyena here. Different color.
Different color.
What's going on there?
It's white because it's chewing up so much bone. So if your pet poodle or whatever you had munched down on lots of bone, it too would produce heavily carbonated, white, chalky poop.
Or gazelle.
Or a gazelle. Lots of gazelle.
Yeah. What do you get out of all of this?
I get out of it the science and a chuckle. I mean, let's face it, you gotta have fun doing what you're doing. You gotta laugh. But if the questions are, what animal was living in this area a long time ago that's dead? That's kind of cool that you're reconstructing a past environment. So I get a kick out of that. I kind of like the fossil bones, these bones behind it, we can reconstruct what the animal looks like. But to say this is what its diet was, well, that's kind of cool. Yeah. And if we can say, well, not only was it eating oak, but it lived in a pine forest or whatever, that's kind of cool. So in some ways, I'm living in the past. It's just that it's a smelly past.
So I wanted to go look for some poop myself. So we came out here to the Gray Fossil Site. Jim, what's going on back here?
Well, what we got going is this is the excavation, and the material dates about 4.5 to 7 million years old. Million years old. And all that black sediment is representing a pond with essentially a marsh area, and it had rhinos and tapirs that we were just looking at for the dung.
Tapir poop.
We might be able to find it here, and tell you what, why don't we go down, and they're actually digging down there. Let me show you what it looks like up close.
Tapir poop?
Well, we hope to find tapir poop. We got to find it.
Come on. What cool thing is going on over here?
And what they're doing is they're hunting for the bones of all the different types of critters here. And that's really important, reconstructing the faunal community. What I want, obviously, is poop. Right.
Yes.
So we got to kind of put on different glasses. And what the excavators are doing is they're going to be looking for plant fibers that seem to have kind of a shape to them. Okay?
The shape again.
The shape. Read back to the shape. And if they can find that, then they're going to say, okay, Jim, is this a pile of rhino poop or tapir poop or what? So then when you think about it, we go back to the lab and say, okay, are these twigs clipped? Are these twigs all in alignment and probably washed there by the water? Do we have potential tapir poop? And that's, of course, would make me very happy.
So here's a question. If I were to find some tapir poop, would that be an appropriate Christmas gift?
That would be fantastic. You can't ask for anything better than that.
Wow, that was amazing.
Yeah.
I love when he's searching for a random animal to talk about. He's like, say if you had a poodle.
Like a poodle.
Say a poodle. Of course you have to say a poodle. Can't be a lamb. Can't be a cat. Anyway, cat. Cat. I know.
It's too close.
That's amazing. I'm sorry you always have to do the poop stuff, Kent, but that was really cool.
It's my destiny, I guess.